When it comes to changing your life, you have to be a little bit extreme, like a little bit crazy. And over the past 8 years I've been into minimalism, I've tried like 1,000 habits, from waking up at 4 a.m. to being extremely efficient to viral morning routines. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a joke. However, after testing all of the habits, including this, I have found the ones that actually work so that you don't have to waste your time. The minimalist morning and evening routine. Most people know they should have a morning routine. I think most people don't have an evening routine. And I've tried and experimented with a lot of different variations of them over the past couple of years. But for me, I've discovered that having a very simple and short routine that I can fall into really sets up the rest of my day for success. So in the morning, the first thing that I do instead of look at a screen is have a large glass of water. I do the same things in the same order every single morning. I put on the same clothes. I make the exact same amount of coffee. I do everything in the exact same way as much as I can with kids. And having that purposefulness and stability first thing in the morning really helps me be mindful the rest of the day and make sure that I'm doing things because I know this will help me, and not just because, I had a phone, I picked it up and started scrolling, whatever. And the same thing with the evening. I lay out my water and my clothes the night before so I am set up for success the next day. I read a book instead of looking at my phone. None of this routine stuff's like an hour long of doing crazy stuff. It is just being very simple and intentional and just having a few like anchor habits that I do every single day that have really improved my sleep and just helped me be more productive throughout the entire day, just from a few simple habits. Just stick with the boring approach when it comes to money. I feel like people think that managing your finances is really hard or investing is really hard, but I've read, I think like over 100 books on money. And this is like all I've obsessed about for the past 10 years of my life. And I can tell you, it is actually very simple. There's a few different approaches that you can take, a few different approaches that I take, and I just ignore everything else. And I'm a big fan of that. If you don't understand something, either learn about it or ignore it. Don't try to do something you don't understand. So like I thought I was smarter than I was, and I tried like trading meme coins back in the day or picking individual stocks without really researching them, just because I saw a tip or whatever. And I lost thousands of dollars doing that. And now I just keep things extremely, extremely simple. I invest in things I understand. I invest in YouTube because I can start new channels or grow the channels that I do have and generally get all my money back within like a year. Or I invest into real estate. I was a real estate agent for 8 years. I bought multiple rentals. I understand that very well. I understand my city very well. I don't invest in other parts of the country because I don't understand that, but I invest in what I understand. And then also I invest in like index funds or in a few select stocks or ETFs. I keep things as simple as possible when it comes to my investing. And for the most part, you don't need to pay somebody to invest your money for you. Even just investing in like the S&P 500 has outperformed actively managed funds like 90% of the time. You don't need to pay somebody a percentage to do worse for you. You can just do the simplest thing. There's this whole book called The Simple Path to Wealth. And it really comes down to like just invest in low cost index funds. If the stock market is the approach you want to go, and just like set it and forget it and just keep growing. Over the long term, it's going to beat pretty much everything else, unless it's like your full-time job to try to pick stocks. And even then it's like a lot of people lose. So just keep it simple. The 77% rule. This changed how I spend a lot of my time. So something you might not know is the average American spends about 6 hours a day. I've heard different stats, anywhere from like 6 to 7 hours, passively consuming content per day. That means podcasts, social media, YouTube, music, watching TV, whatever it is, like 6 or 7 hours every single day. Now, there was this study about rich people and their habits, and they found that 67% of wealthy people watch less than 1 hour of television per day, and 77% of poor people watch over 1 hour of television a day. Now, this might seem irrelevant or fake or whatever, but I can just tell you from my own personal experience. When I watch a lot of TV, I watch a TV show, I really get into, watching things, particularly on a television, but in all forms, like I talked about, my phone can be a thing. I am far less productive and I end up making less money because of that. And so this is the reason why I haven't started any new TV shows in about the past 3 or 4 years, I think. Like I've watched Friends and The Office and Parks and Rec and all those type of things. Now I'm refusing to start a new TV show because I know if I start one, then I'm going to watch hours and hours and hours of content and not really get anything out of it. And when I took that shift originally from consuming every night to using my 5 to 9 to kind of like build my, dream life, that's when my life totally changed. That's how I was able to leave my job. It wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have those extra hours in order to build income streams and learn new skills. Like right now, if you can't tell, tonight's project is to build these bookshelves where I'm going to put all my books. As you can see, that stack right there is currently being used as my standing desk. So that's not a long-term solution. But if your house is a wreck, you're out of shape, you don't have enough money, I would recommend that the first thing that you change, and the first thing that I always look to, is how are you spending your nights and your free time? Are you mindlessly consuming content? Are you unwinding at the end of a hard day? Or are you bettering yourself? If you're always unwinding after a hard day or relaxing or treating yourself or whatever, you will never get out of that loop, because it takes that extra time to build things that will allow you to get out of that thing that you need to recover from, right? So it's like this endless loop of like work really hard, have to recover, sleep. And if you don't change this have to recover to like doing something productive that's fun and makes you feel better, you'll never get out of that. You'll just stay in that loop forever. And it applies to, like I said, almost everything: your house, your health, your finances, your relationships. How you spend your free time changes your life. Free zones. I actually use this rule 2 different ways, and both of them have really impacted my life. So I have free zones. I have phone free zones. So like my sauna, my cold plunge, my bed. There are certain places where my phone is not allowed to go. It is a place where I can have clarity of mind. I can think, I can process, and just be away from the normal thing. I try not to do music or anything in those places. That allows me to reset. But another way that I practice this free zone is by having places where they have to remain clutter free. For me, my office, when I'm not rebuilding it, has to remain clutter free, or I cannot be productive. So at the end of every night, I use another habit, which is the 5-minute cleanup, and I just reset my day for the next day. And I do the same thing with our kitchen counters. Every night we clean them off, we fill the dishwasher, we do all that type of stuff. And that just sets up the next day for success. And if you just have certain places where like when the counters are, covered with stuff, it stresses me out the second I walk in the door. I just don't like it. And so I have certain places that are more important than other places that I have to reset every night in order to keep this habit going. Generally, you know where those places are. Maybe it's your front door, maybe it's your bedroom, maybe it's your kitchen table that always just collects a bunch of random crap. If that part of your house stays clean and you really, really focus on it, it'll impact the rest of your house. It'll impact your stress levels, so many different things.
Hey, look, the bookshelf's done. Also, I lost my voice, but I wanted to give you some quick fire action steps so that you can improve your life even by 1% today. First and foremost, always be learning. I don't know, it sounded better in my head. Pretty much your inputs are gonna control what you think. You can't have thoughts if you don't know that those things exist. So if you're struggling, you want to improve one area in your life right now, be very cautious and choose what inputs you want to go into your brain. You want to get in shape? Make sure you have a ton of fitness stuff coming into your brain. You want to work on your finances? You're in the right spot. Subscribe to the channel. Pick a book, start listening to a podcast, do whatever, but your inputs will drastically change everything that you do. It'll change your life. Also, take advantage of the little things. I have some links down below with stuff that I use personally and I'm actually a fan of. Like if you want to compare high interest savings account, see if you can save on your car insurance, the investing app that I use, a wait list for my financial minimalism blueprint. All the things below are actually pretty curated and will make your life better in some way or save you money or make you money. But there's things like that everywhere. So if you can make some small decisions that 5 minutes, now, instead of, my money earning no money, now it earns whatever percent in a high interest savings account. That is one change that you do once and it just impacts the rest of your life, right? It just makes you free money forever. And the same thing with a bunch of little changes. You make one change once, you lower your car insurance, you do whatever, and you save money forever. You start waking up 20 minutes earlier, you add 20 minutes to your life every single day. Now that excuse of not having time to go to the gym, you can change that, right? You make one small decision that can totally transform your life. Do that in a bunch of areas and everything changes. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch this video right here on some money saving habits. And I will see you hopefully when I have my voice back.